Okay, it's John Black again, JBSC. I remember last time we proved with the bottle when the CO2 that, it doesn't matter if you have, even if you triple the CO2 in the atmosphere, it doesn't have any effect on the heat. You know what I mean? On heating the atmosphere at all. None. Unless you take it up to like 10% or more. Because another thing is that carbon dioxide is actually a very, 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 very weak greenhouse gas, even in high quantity, like 10%. But what I wanted to say was if you take a graph of the temperature of the Earth for the last, half a billion years, right, and you overlap temperature and CO2 in the atmosphere, okay? You would think, because we proved CO2 is a greenhouse gas if you have a lot of in a quantity, okay? So we proved that. So we would think that if the CO2 goes up, the temp goes up. The CO2 goes down, the temp goes down. But this is actually what really happens. Not every time, but at least half of the time or more. I'd say more, a lot more, that this is what happens. When the temperature goes up, the CO2 goes down, which is the opposite of what it should do. And usually, and I will show these graphs to you, and you can see for yourself that they do not correspond, okay? Just because two things look like they're, if the CO2 went up and the temperature went up, that doesn't even prove anything either. Sometimes things just look like they correlate, but they don't. There's no causality between those two data points, you know what I mean? But here we go, this last thing on the board almost. See this little squiggly line? That's basically like the temperature of the last 600 years, okay? And it doesn't look this perfect, okay? I'll show it to you later, but I'm trying to get to a point here. It basically goes up and down, up and down, up and down, right? And what happens is, if you can zoom into these more, this is, because it's like a million years is from here to here, you know what I mean? But if you zoom in on it, like here, you're zoomed in on this part, you can see it actually goes up and down even more. Like that'd be here too. It'd be up and down, 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 up and down. I just didn't want to draw it like that. So my point is it doesn't just steadily go up, and then steadily go down, steadily go up. It doesn't do that. It's like over here, where it goes steadily up, but as it goes up, it jiggly goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But it steadily goes up. In the same way, on this side, it steadily goes down, but it doesn't steadily go down perfectly. It goes up and down, but it's going down at the same time. You know what I mean? This is our temperature in the last 600 years. And we are basically right here. These will be ice ages. Okay? These are ice ages. Here's it. And this dotted line is the future. Okay? So we can guess that it's going to be like that. Okay? If this was the past, this would be the future, right? And basically you can see we're right here. This is where we're at right here. Yes, we are on a little slightly jiggly thing going up. But as you can see, overall, we are going down, and we're actually actually over here really, because we're coming out of an ice age, and this is saying we're going into an ice age. So really, we would be at this side, and this would be the ice age, and we're just coming out of it. Here, this is where we would be right here. We would be right here. This would be all jig. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But we would be right here. We're coming out of a freaking ice age. We're coming. See, this is what I'm talking about. My victimology. I have to live on a planet infested by humans, right? And they're coming out of a freaking ice age. Coming out of an ice age. And everyone's worried that we're going to boil the planet away. We're coming out of an ice age. We're actually technically, we are still in the ice age, technically. Anyways, let's get rid of this board. What else does it say? Why do 98% of all scientists believe in climate change? You know, these climate crazies, they always want to say, 98% believe in climate change. 95% believe in... Yeah, 100% of people believe in climate change. That's like saying, do you believe in weather change? Yeah, I believe in weather change because weather constantly changes, just like the climate does. Nobody disputes that. So for them to say, oh, well, why do 98% of scientists, climatologists, why do they believe in climate change if it's not a problem? They do believe in it, but they just don't believe it's a problem because they're not idiots. They're not paid off by somebody to lie, you know. That's what I wanted to bring up too, is about like Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Science Guy, and even those idiots from what is it, the Mythbusters or whatever. All crooked. They're not even scientists. They're just bought off by whatever. And that Mythbusters, they did good with everything they did. The only thing they got bought off by was the hydrogen car they did. They obviously, I know more than them about a hydrogen car, apparently, from what they showed on their show. Okay, and we all can know that they know a lot more than me. They know, a billion times more than me. So if I know they know. And they were acting like they didn't know what they were doing when they were doing the hydrogen cars. So, and you think they're just never meet your heroes, man. Never meet your heroes. You'll see that these scientists are not scientists; they're just activists. But anyways, what else is on here? Oh, but that only 0.03% of scientists, that are climatologists, not just regular scientists. We're talking about climatologists, only climatologists. Only 0.03% of them believe in a climate crisis. Yeah, they all believe in climate change, obviously. That's like saying believing in weather change. But there's only 0.03% of climatologists who believe that there's a crisis. That's it. The rest of them are saying that it's not only not a crisis, it's the opposite of what you're saying. It's not a global warming, it's global freezing. We're coming out of a freaking ice age, you morons, and our CO2 is like down to levels where plants are going to start dying off soon if we keep going downward on the CO2. It's like, oh well. Hey, let me get this out of the way. All right, now I got some facts here. I'll read a couple facts and I'll show you some charts, okay? Because as we said before, oh geez, that's way off. Okay, sorry about that. We're just going to have to live with what we got here. Okay, so they say that there's all these droughts. They say that there's all these hurricanes and tornadoes and everything you can think of that's just going to kill us all. Floods and, oh my. Let's see what we got here. I got the wrong book is what it is. Okay. Give me a second. I don't have any editing, so I can't... Alright, I found it. Sorry. Wish I could edit that out. Unfortunately, I cannot. Okay, I got 5 more minutes. Okay, the first thing I'm going to go over is the fires, okay? These people, they give us charts like this. Wait, I don't know if I can... Oh, jeez. Anyways, they give us charts like this, and you can see, you know, the up and down line is the how many millions of acres are burned in forest fires, and then the bottom line is the years from like 1980 or something like that, or 1960 till today, right? And you can see there has been a trend, right? You can see on the left over here rather, there's not as many fires, and then lately it seems like it jumped up to this line here. You know what I mean? All these fires. There's a lot more fires, man. And by the way, they got this from this National Interagency Fire Center, 1960 to 2016. Okay. Now, what does a woke person say about this? A woke person says that proves our point. That proves everything that we have said. And what does a Christian say, or a Christian or a Republican? What does he say? He says, well, that's pretty damning evidence, but you know, and it's a crisis, but it's not that big of a crisis. We can control it and get it under control. Now, what does a Pastafarian say about this chart? This is what a Pastafarian does. See, a Pastafarian, he goes over to that source, which was that source, National Interagency Fire Center, and he looks up this freaking goddamn thing himself. He doesn't just say what he believes in his heart. Okay, he doesn't say things that he believes in his heart. He says things that he believes in his brain. Okay, his brain hasn't seen the chart, so he goes to the thing, and I suggest you do the same thing. Just go to the damn site, look up the damn chart, and you'll see for yourself. This is the chart that they got that from. Okay, I'm going to show it to you. Now, you might say that doesn't look like the chart. But I want you to look. You got, starts out low and it came steady, and then it goes up and is steady going up there. And look down here. You got the same thing. See, if you, what they did was, is they took from here, they took from here to there. See this part right here? They took from here to here. So now it's up. See, there's the high part, and then there's the low part. But I want you to see this is 1960. Look what happened before 1960. The fires this is supposed to be the high. We're supposed to be worried about this, because this is so much compared to this over here. Look how low this is. These fires are so low, and now they're just so high. Really? This is high compared to this over here? And this is just from 1960. This isn't like, you know, this isn't from 20 million years ago. This here is from 1926 to 1960. They cut off all of this, and I showed you this. Who does that? And this was James Hansen from NASA. He's the one who did that. He took this thing up here, and he took it from this down here, so that you couldn't see the truth. The fires used to be really, really bad, and we've actually gotten control of them since the 1960s.